Hello!
Hi guys!
Welcome back to Absolutely Clueless. Absolutely Clueless. Season 3. And I'm clueless about how to say clueless, apparently.
Yeah. And this is episode 2. We are going to be talking about office politics.
Yes. I think a lot of people our age are starting to learn that there are certain rules established, unspoken rules in the workplace.
Yeah, there really is.
So we found out the hard way. We asked a few of our nearest and dearest to share their stories because I think quite a few people have been through the fucking ringer.
We've been through some bullshit.
Yeah, some bullshit.
Some bullshit. Honestly, like the transition from going to university to then entering the working world, and we still have only been working for like 2 years now.
Yeah, literally.
Years.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm only just getting sort of into the swing of not really having the amount of freedom that we had at uni. I think it was a massive shock to the system, especially because people don't really talk about it like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But now it's like, I don't know, there is definitely a hierarchy. I think the way that you think about it in uni is like, in uni, the person that works the hardest, and in school, the person that works the hardest gets the best grades, has the better chance of getting to the best sixth form, getting to the best university, getting to the best, like doing the best masters or whatever. But once you get to work, all those things go out the window.
It's actually true, yeah, because we think that it's all about meritocracy.
Yeah.
As where you're actually rewarded for your merits, for like your value in a company. But then you start working, it is just a popularity contest, and whoever the bosses like, they're gonna be promoted.
Yeah.
Whoever the people higher up like the most in terms of personality, they're gonna give them more opportunities than the quiet, hardworking person that doesn't stand out as much.
I mean, yeah, honestly, I think it obviously depends on the industry and depends on the boss, but it's a recurring issue. Like, we've definitely experienced it, and we're in completely different industries. And a lot of our friends and other people that we know have experienced it in completely different industries as well. And it's a bit scary because some of the places that we've worked in, for example, my first job was in a law firm. You work in a lab. Those are very technical jobs. Like, you need a certain like level of education to be able to do those jobs. You need a certain level of education to be a lawyer, to be a chemist.
Yeah.
And yet it's still heavily based on who's liked, who's moving up, which is actually quite dangerous because of the implications on the work they're doing, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, because favoritism shouldn't ever be involved, I don't think, when it comes to those kind of working environments. And it makes me think about like the healthcare industry as well.
How that works. Well, actually, fun fact, so my mum worked in the NHS her whole career pretty much. She started as a nurse and she worked, she moved out of nursing and then did like, still to this day, do not know what she did, but she like managed like the northwest region for some sort of facilitating like at-home care, I think. But she would manage like the distribution of it, I think. Probably wrong. But so she was in like the kind of office part of the NHS. And she literally told me that they have like very strict bandings. It's very much like that in the public sector.
Yeah, that's true.
And she said that, so you're supposed to really just like, it's like school, you're supposed to work your way up these bandings and each banding is worth a certain salary. And she said that there was this one lady who was a band below her, so was on less money, got really, really friendly with one of the managers, and all of a sudden she's skipping 2 bands. So she didn't even have to work her way up. She went from 50k to 80 when she's supposed to go 50, 60, you know? And she just went from 50 to 80.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if that can happen in the public sector when they're supposed to be like older, like specific progression ladder.
And those, well, at least there they have like specific job roles and stuff. In private industries, people can just create job roles. If they like a person, they can just be like, okay, I'm gonna make you this now, a senior one of this. It didn't exist before, but we're creating it, and you're gonna get it, and you're gonna get paid more. So yeah, it's like more is possible in the private sector, but in the public sector, I think probably still applies about if the manager's like a certain person.
It's scary as well, because I think that kind of system is in place to avoid that from happening, but obviously it doesn't work. That being said, I do think that there's definitely benefits to like private sector in that regard, because it's like if you are working really hard and all of these processes are like restricting you from moving up because you have to, maybe you can't get a promotion until you've been there a year, but you're doing really well and you're like
that's
exceeding
true.
everything.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't you be able to move up sooner than the system says you should?
Yeah, no, that's true. And that does make me feel like a hater, because I'm like, how dare you? You don't deserve that. Well, I'm joking. Like, if they deserve to, obviously, if they've worked really hard and people are seeing that and they want to give them the salary to match the hard work that they do, then yeah, of course, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think we're talking more about like personality hires, the ones that kind of find a way to evade the work that everyone else is doing and somehow still get the promotion.
Yeah, because that's one thing we wanted to talk about, is like every workplace has one person that doesn't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
They come in every day, don't do shit. Yeah, you know, I feel like I'm I'm not talking about myself.
Just saying, in general.
But the people that have things to do, I don't have that much to do, so that's not my fault. But people that have a lot to do and they don't do anything and they manage to get away with not doing anything,
question marks over their heads. Yeah, like how
yeah, how are you getting away with that?
Yeah,
that's not fair.
And I have actually seen, even in people that I like, people who are just so personable and like really charismatic in terms of how they speak to people. They're really engaging in the conversations, and it's nothing to do with the fact that, you know, the technical parts of their job, but they're so well liked and they are a nice person, but then everyone else is getting overlooked even if they're doing more work, because that person is just so friendly and likable. And I guess that's important. If you're working with someone every day, you want to like them, but it shouldn't be the most important thing more so than the work they're producing.
Yeah, definitely.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no, definitely not. But the workplace definitely has a lot of cliques. And that's one thing as well about office politics. People, when they're best friends with each other and then they are so exclusive. Yeah. Like they just clearly have a bit of a barrier with other people. That can be quite intimidating to be around.
Yeah. Especially when you're new and you come in and they're just like so unwelcoming. That happened to me.
Yeah, people weren't very welcoming when I started.
Oh yeah, I remember you had a bit of an issue.
I love it. I just felt like, even to this day, I'm still like, yeah, they don't like me for some reason.
Well, I think they probably didn't understand that you literally came with like a good chemistry degree, and that was the one time where it was a meritocracy. You got a certain like amount of, like, you got a certain package and offer because you could show that you were worth that. Like people were angry because they've been there a certain amount of time. But at the same time, it sounds like I'm contradicting myself now, but if you're not asking for things as well, it's important that you go in and you know your worth and you ask for things. If you're producing a certain amount of work and you feel like you're owed more money, but you've not asked for it, do you have a right to be salty if other people are asking for it and they're getting it?
Yeah, no, that was interesting. I don't mind talking about that. Like when I first started, I told everybody my salary because I just think as workers in a workplace, why not? I think it's good to discuss it with people so that you know what everyone's being paid. Yeah, and so that you can know that you're not getting ripped off or whatever. So I told people, but because it was more, immediately everyone was like annoyed, but they weren't necessarily annoyed with me. They just were annoyed. So, but in the end, like, I still don't regret telling them what I was getting paid, because they ended up telling the bosses and stuff, and they all got a pay bump.
Yeah, so, that's good.
Yeah, I'm glad about that. But it's very awkward in situations where people are getting paid different amounts, and other people are salty about it. And even though it's not your fault, they're treating you like it is your fault.
Yeah,
that's not right.
It's like that saying in Hunger Games.
Oh, what is it?
When they said, remember who the real enemy is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not me. It's not me.
It's the system.
Yeah. I remember actually when one of the girls, when she joined, when one of our friends now joined the place I used to work at, she joined on like a much bigger salary. It was basically like a senior salary, because she went in, they really wanted her, and she said, look, I'm coming from this salary. I'm not budging. This is my lifestyle now. So if you want me, I cannot take a pay cut. Like, I physically can't afford it. And they said, okay, yeah, that's fine. Most people started on, if I just make up a random figure, if most people started on 10,000, she came in on like 15, 18k. People were annoyed. There were whispers about her. And I'm like, but you didn't ask for that though.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't have the same negotiation skills, which is another thing that's annoying that we actually do have to learn.
Yeah, get comfortable with talking about money.
Yeah. And like being a bit demanding. I'm still not comfortable with that. Like,
it's hard.
It is hard, and of course we're just coming into working, whereas I think our friend has been working a bit longer, hasn't she?
Yeah, but only by like a year or two.
Okay, yeah. I'm hoping that's one of my goals for the future. I want to be like so good about what I'm worth that I don't budge, and I am able to like negotiate it with like members of staff, because at the moment in my workplace I do genuinely feel uncomfortable with the higher up people. I don't want to talk to them. I just want to avoid them because it's so awkward. And
I feel like that. I feel like I felt like that a lot with just anyone in a managerial position. I don't know why. Maybe it's like this kind of mentality that's been passed on from school about, you know, like your higher ups, teachers, and how to speak to them. You speak to them differently, and it's not like that in work because you're all adults, but the kind of mentality sticks with you. Especially when you're young. I think it's really difficult to, because these managers or people in managerial positions tend to be decades older than you.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's quite intimidating.
It is, definitely.
But I think it's just a case of like looking yourself in the mirror and being like, you're a grown adult now. I've literally had to have this conversation with myself the other day. Because I've had to get used to having maybe uncomfortable discussions, but for my own benefit, where I will come out of that conversation feeling a lot better, and being like, look, you're an adult, you have to advocate for yourself. That was one of my resolutions.
Hey, very nice.
Advocate for yourself, because you can't keep waiting for someone else to do it, and you can't like cross your fingers and hope that it's just going to happen on its own.
So true. Anything that you want from work, you have to ask for it. You want to get trained on something, you have to ask for it. You want to get a pay rise, you have to ask for it. You want to change your job title, you have to ask for it.
For sure.
And put it in words, send it as an email. Because verbal promises are just bullshit. Like,
they're wishy-washy. Yeah. Or even if you want to have a face-to-face conversation, follow it up with an email. So we thank you so much for the conversation earlier when we discussed XYZ. Really happy that you agreed to XYZ. Can't wait to get things finalised and put into motion. Send.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting away with what you promised me.
So true. I know. Because like, this is bad, but even like, because I'm not very good at that in my workplace, I've kind of given up. But I got promoted like over a year ago now, and my job role says trainee, blah blah blah. And the manager himself, the general manager himself, said to me like, oh yeah, I'm quite happy with your work. Like, we don't need you to be a trainee anymore. Like, you can just be an official, whatever. It's been a year and a half. The official job title is still trainee. But at this point, I'm like, I don't even care enough to like change it.
Yeah. I think you can just put that on your
I'm putting
CV.
Yeah, I'm not putting trainee on my CV. Yeah. I know.
But yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, it's annoying. I mean, even whatever response you get, even if it's not the response you want, you'll still be better off for knowing, I think. Even if they're like, no, there's no way I'm paying you more, or no, or you'll be in a much better headspace, I think, because then you won't be guessing, and the guessing is what causes the most anxiety for me anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah,
the waiting and expecting.
Yeah. I also think certain conversations will just never not be awkward. You have to like come to peace with that. Do you want to talk about
which one?
Affairs?
Yes.
Relationships.
So another thing we wanted to talk about is people dating in the workplace. Dating your colleagues. What are you doing?
No, sorry, because anyone that worked with me in the agency that I was at before this one, guys, I was like I was at a fucking fraternity. Like, it was wild. I'm so sorry.
It was just everyone getting with each other.
Everyone was getting with each other. Everyone, apart from me, obviously.
Yeah.
But so I just like heard about it. It was wild. Like we would go for drinks after work or whatever, because we work in town as well. Bars are everywhere.
Yeah.
And people would just, probably stay later than they should have. And then you come in the next day and everyone's whispering, and I'm like, what's gone on? Oh my god, Jill got with Jack, but Jack is actually supposed to be seeing like Sarah. I'm like, why are you all doing this? I don't understand.
I don't understand how people find other people attractive at work, like as well. Like how does that happen?
Well, I think it's if they're in luck, I guess.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, and if you're in the right industry.
Yeah, no, I think it probably does happen a lot in recruitment, especially because a lot of us were graduates. We came in as graduate
same
recruiters.
age.
Yeah, or trainee recruiters. So we were all between the ages of 21 to 26. I mean, it's kind of like a
Love Island, but at work.
Yeah, and then we would go out a lot.
Yeah. And
drink a lot.
Yeah.
It's like a recipe. It's a recipe for disaster, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so much fun, but that's because I was never involved in anything.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was so stressful being involved.
Yeah, because like I can just imagine the level of drama, especially like the next day, having to actually go to work and you know that you've slept with someone and you're just casually seeing them in the kitchen, and now you have to talk to them about the meeting that's going to happen next, and you have to sit in a quiet meeting with them sat right opposite you.
I know, everyone's talking about you because they're talking about you. You're the hot topic.
Yeah, you're the hot topic.
Yeah, oh my god, no, I would hate that. Even if I ever became single in the future, would never ever do that. Like, even if I was, I guess it's easier said than done if you're really sexually attracted to someone and they're really like taking all your boxes and you just really are drawn to them and they're drawn to you and they're reciprocating the feeling. It's hard to say no.
True. Yeah,
it's hard to say no, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ew, I'm just getting flashbacks of some of the things that I saw, like messages that people had shown me that it makes you look at people differently. It's like, that's my colleague, my co-worker's asking to see a tit pic from you.
I know, that's crazy. I know. It changes the dynamics. Yeah. And when you know that certain people are in relationships as well, and it's like, why are they being so flirty with Susan over there? Yeah. But they literally have a wife and kids at home.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I want to be clear as well. None of this is happening where I work.
No, yeah.
But
it could happen, and it does happen in certain places.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. For
and
sure.
I know my mum's workplace, there's quite a few people. I think my mum's workplace is actually quite innocent. Like, the people that have gotten together, they've actually ended up married.
Okay.
So that's more of like a mature.
That's how workplace. You do it. You don't just like sleep with Jack and sleep with Jill and sleep with Barry, like. And then not expect it to get messy.
Yeah.
Because it'll get messy. I think it's because you can't avoid them, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, most time when you have a little fling with someone, you go to work and that's your respite from like the mess of any sort of situationship.
Yeah.
If you go into work, which you have to go to every day, and you're seeing the person that you're like trying to deal with this messy situation with, you're like, oh god, I can't have a break from you. You're everywhere.
Fully.
Yeah.
But I actually think it's awkward for like the third wheelers as well. Because like
that
you can't just
awkward as fuck.
Yeah, because you just feel like you're intruding on a date now. Like, sorry guys, do you wanna?
Yeah, should I leave?
Yeah.
So hungry. Or you're all in the kitchen together and just waiting for the kettle. You're like.
Yeah.
It's nice, isn't it?
I hate waiting for the kettle. Like...
Yeah. To be fair, actually, I don't know why I said that because we don't have kettles. We have
just a hot water tap. Well, that's
nice
what we have as well. But
obviously,
there's still a queue though for people to like, get their mugs out the cupboard, put the tea bag, wait for the sugar, wait for the milk.
Oh my god!
Please
let me wait.
I just don't want to be in an office anymore.
No. And on the flip side of that, there's also people, like you said, some people are married with kids, so there's people that fully have affairs, and this is actually a lot more common than we think. Because I've heard too many people talk about the, like, what is it, work husband, work wife. I know people say that, but like sometimes people take it too seriously.
Yeah. No, they really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know married people at my work that have like their work wives, work husbands. I just think that they low key wanna bang. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes they do. For example, my boyfriend's last place, he basically was a manager and he co-managed with someone else. Unfortunately, he ended up having to leave because the dynamics were just getting really stressful. He's essentially getting bullied, like they were awful to him. Turns out this manager, the other manager who he co-managed a team with, ended up having a secret affair with their head of department. And it all adds up because as time, like when you look back, you're like, okay, well, they would have meetings and not invite him. They're a team, like they're both equal managers. She's not a higher level or a lower level. There's no reason for the head of department to meet with her and not my boyfriend as well.
Yeah,
so it didn't make sense.
There's not proper communication.
It was because they were sleeping together.
Yeah.
When they were meeting up.
Dirty.
And she just had a baby.
Oh, people's behaviours are
and gotten married like a year before.
People are despicable.
I know.
Oh,
With work, and he had a wife and kids.
Yeah. Why do people do these things?
Oh my god.
But then imagine if one day we end up
Oh god, what?
we end up in a situation like that. But I feel like
No.
it was so
No.
I feel like some people have to already have like a little bit of an aspect to them that allows themselves to get into a situation like that.
Yeah, where you're fully okay with abandoning the life you've made for yourself. Like, I'm not being funny, but no one forced you to get married and have kids.
Yeah.
Like, literally nobody forced you. That was a decision you made. You got down on one knee, you said yes.
Yeah.
So why now are you acting like you're like so trapped to the point where you have to have an affair with someone that you're working with? And okay, maybe certain dynamics in certain relationships might be a little bit toxic and they're difficult to leave, but these situations specifically, I know that they weren't.
Yeah.
I know that it was just a case of you wanted your cake and to eat it too.
Yeah. No more words.
Yeah, man, it's just fucking nasty, man.
Just nasty. Like, it's just not about that. How do you feel about having colleagues on social media?
Okay, so this is the thing. I feel like, obviously, you can become friends with people, genuinely have, like, genuine friendships with people at work, because, you know, you have something in common already. And if you leave work, then it's like, if you don't have them on social media, how are you going to stay in touch?
Yeah, that's true.
Or if you even meet up outside of work, it's like, well, it makes sense to have each other on social media. But sometimes I also, I feel like between the line of that and also having my own, like, separate life from work.
I agree as well. Like, I don't know where the line is sometimes, because with some colleagues, I feel like we've got a really strong friendship, but then at the same time I'm like, how much can I really trust you though? Because I don't know fully if you take your job so much seriously than I do, and then you're gonna, like, that comes first.
Report certain things back that has nothing to do with work but could make people look at me different.
Yeah, or even it doesn't even have to be in like a malicious way, but they might just be talking about what I'm up to in my life, my intentions for the future, and then that might cause an impact at work. Or that might change some dynamics at work, like you said. It might affect the way people see me. So
like even innocent things like, oh, she was at a rave on Saturday, it's like, oh, I want to do that, and I actually don't want anyone here to know that I like to go out and party and have a drink and whatever. Like, I actually don't want to talk to you about it.
Or even relationship things as well.
Oh, have you seen a boyfriend?
Yeah, I don't like how much people can be bitchy. I can like just talk invested. So much about other people. Like, I think I've gotten to the point where I'm tired. Like, I find it so tiring and boring, and like there's so much more to talk about in life.
And people are too they're too entitled to information about other people as well. It's like, what happened? Why? When? Wait, who did that? Like, why are you asking? You actually don't know this person, really. I know you see them every day, but you don't actually know that much about this person genuinely. So why do you feel like you have the right to this information? And to spread it as well. Don't do that. It's not a good look.
No, it actually isn't.
It's not what you're being paid to do.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered. I'm at the point where I'd rather just not talk. I just don't want to talk to anyone if we're gonna have to talk about that. Like, just literally, let me just sit on my phone at lunch and just scroll through Christmas parties and social.
Oh my god, that's a good one to end on, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, social dues.
Oh, so obviously, meeting up with people from work outside of work. That's fun. That's sometimes it's necessary because you want to get to know people. Have something to talk about at work that isn't related to work.
Team dynamic as well.
Yeah, exactly. So just having some fun.
Yeah.
Releasing the tension a little bit. Good.
Mm.
Some people take it too far and they make it weird. They make it weird.
They make it weird. I don't understand. Can I ask? It's a public service announcement. Those people that don't have a cap on how drunk they get at social and work things. Why? Like, why don't you tell yourself to stop? Because I get so anxious. Yeah. I get so anxious if I'm even like over the line of tipsy. I get so worried and scared that I'm going to say or do something that's going to embarrass myself the next day. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, taking myself out of the equation. Actually, I'm going to go home. Whereas other people are like actively trying to get messed up.
Mm-hmm. But some people get into fights. They're that drunk that they get into fights.
Oh my god, I know.
But then as well, it's like it can be really, really like a sticky situation when people start to get so drunk that they become really touchy-feely as well with the wrong people. Or as well, we've had friends, like situations that our friends have been in where their work colleagues have gotten drunk and then said something racist or homophobic, or they let their real colours
slip through. Yeah. I mean, people as well don't realise, which I find really dumb, but people don't realise that if you're at a work stew that's being paid for by the company, you're on the clock. Like, anything that you do there, you're not out of the office. Like, you can get fired for that. You can get put on a performance plan. You can get reprimanded. Yeah. You're at work.
People can complain about you to HR because of something that happened outside of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's with colleagues, it's absolutely to do with work.
Yeah.
So don't get it twisted that you think you're not. Oh, it doesn't count. I'm not at work. You are. You're with everyone at work. You're out with everyone at work. The company's paying. Like, the table that you're at has been booked under the company name. Yeah. I don't understand why you think you're not at work.
Funny.
Yeah, people. I don't get how people can be so brave about getting that messed up.
I know.
I'll never understand that.
Yeah.
I just, and I've seen it multiple times at multiple places. People fully throwing up, like, visibly on the floor in front of everyone. People, like, being really rude to bar staff and waiting staff.
That's horrible, yeah.
It's really, really bad. I remember in one of the places that I worked at, after the Christmas do, the boss sent around an email being like, someone, he didn't name names, and I think, to be honest, it was a bit unnecessary because I think he was just salty because he booked out this local restaurant in the area, really nice venue that he would go to all the time with his family, and he booked the whole place out for us to have our Christmas do, and the next day he sent an email around saying, like, someone was really rude to wait staff, and someone was speaking really nastily to the bar staff, and I won't have it. I go here every time with my family. It's embarrassing for me. Someone threw up all over the bathroom, and he knew who it was, so I don't know why he did that. It was literally just to embarrass her.
Yeah, people threw up all over the bathroom.
Yeah, it was the same girl.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't, because I kind of like, I get that you're angry, but it's not really my business that she is in trouble. But I didn't really need to know that she went too far.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But at the same time, why did you go that far to the point where because it's his family restaurant, like that, and that was the owner of the company.
It's very embarrassing.
You pissed him off because you got too drunk.
That's very embarrassing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would be at work on my best behaviour after that.
Oh my god, the anxiety the next day.
Yeah, fully.
I hate that.
Honestly.
Ew. Yeah, everyone, please, if you feel like you have any sort of like input on how drunk to get on work stews, what's acceptable, or whether you should get drunk at all. Like, some people don't even like going to socials with,
that's true,
with their work people.
I think I'm starting to get put off it as well.
I think it's awkward as well sometimes.
It's just sometimes awkward. Like, I'd rather be on a night out with my actual friends.
Because you're we like the same music and we like the same vibes.
Yeah.
That's always tricky at work.
Exactly. Yeah. And just finding things in common with people.
Yeah. Because sometimes you find yourself forcing yourself to stay somewhere just for the camaraderie and for the nice group dynamic, and because you want to get to know people outside of a work setting.
Yeah.
But you're stood there and you're like, I don't like this music, I don't like this food, I don't like these kind of drinks.
And I'm actually not enjoying myself.
Yeah, I'm bored as fuck. I'm spending money.
Wasting money.
Yeah, can I go?
Yeah.
When can I go when it's not rude as well?
I know, exactly.
Now. But anyway, if you haven't started work yet, you're in for a treat.
Yep. But I bet most people know exactly what we're talking about.
100%, yeah. I would love to hear other people's office stories. Let us know.
Me too. I want to know some of the drama as well.
Yeah, please. We would love to react to some because we have plenty more if you guys want to.
Yeah, if you want to hear, yeah. And soon, when this episode gets uploaded, I will not be employed.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Obviously stick around for our next episode. We have loads coming out, so yeah, super excited. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you for listening. Bye, and don't forget that it's okay to be clueless.
Bye.